Hey you, how's it going? My name is Ruby Price and today I'm going to be talking to you about the many sexual identities of Ruby Price. Yeah, so like many of the people who fall under one of the categories of the LGBTQ plus bracket, I have identified as quite a few of those. It's almost like bingo when you look at the list, and you know, that doesn't invalidate any of them, it just sort of shows how discovering yourself as a person works. I've noticed this is something that happens particularly with people who are trans, purely because gender identity and sexuality aren't things that, you know, are synonymous. They're things that just don't go together. And even though Pride Month is over, I'm still, you know, going to be forcing the LGBT community down people's throats, as it says in the gay agenda. You don't like it, take it up with Liberace's Ghost. Bonus points to anyone who can tell me what that's a reference to. Go on, comments below. So within the context of this video, I'm purely just going to be looking at the history of my sexuality and gender identity, because I feel it's something that's sort of worth discussing. It's something that was never really solidified as I was going through like a period of self-discovery, just to, you know, find out who I am. So let's go back to the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. So prior to knowing that I was trans, we're talking about year 7, year 8 age, I knew that I liked girls. They didn't necessarily like me back, but you know, whenever the topic of fancying someone came up, I would usually have a girl to name, or a few, or to write songs about. To anyone looking at me then, I was just a straight boy. And this sort of carried on until I made like a conscious acknowledgement of my gender identity not necessarily being right. I've said before that I sort of knew there was something wrong, but I'd never been able to, you know, place my finger on it. And sort of around that pubescent era, I started to put pieces together and think, hang on a sec, something's not quite right here. So I started to research the concepts of transsexuality, transgender, all those trans suffixes. And then I started to, you know, just go about the whole trans thing. And this is probably about year 9, the end of year 9. I've mentioned this before, I came out as trans to my friendship group, but no one else. And then when it got leaked, I couldn't handle it and I went back into the closet. And around this time, I'd sort of realised as well I wasn't 100% straight guy. This boy had moved to our school and I really liked him. And I thought, oh okay, maybe I'm gay. You know, whilst I had been attracted to girls and was still pretty much attracted to girls, but I just didn't think it was a sexual thing. I thought it was, you know, purely because of this whole trans aspect to me, and I wasn't wanting to be with them, I was wanting to be them, if that makes any sense. The liking girls got pushed aside and I started sexually identifying as gay, and I didn't get with any guys until, yeah. And it was whilst living as a gay person that gender identity hit me like an Asdiff train, and I was just like, yeah, this really isn't working out. You know, I tried to carry on as just a gay guy, but really there was no conceivable way for me to carry on living as not Ruby Price. I could have gone back to doing what I was doing the first time I came out as trans, and you know, Jasmine was gonna make a comeback, and no, it just didn't work. I've said before, I can't remember why I chose Ruby Price, but I am Ruby Price. There's no other possibility that I could have been. So gay went out the window. Straight was probably making a comeback, but no. I realised that I did still like girls in that sort of way, and bisexual Rubes appeared. I'd realised who I was, and I'd realised who I'd like to be with. And then I sort of, you know, like, just started discovering other sexualities out there. Pansexual is one of them that I sometimes use. I don't really care whether it's bisexual or pansexual, because as valid as those terms are, to me they just sort of seem a bit like the same thing. That's not to say that they are, That's just to say that to me, both labels are valid. Don't go cancelling me over that. And I feel like I check enough boxes to be considered either. So going from that, my sexuality is constantly evolving as new terms come to my attention. But to stick a label on it, because that's what people like to do, I am a transsexual who is bisexual. So I hope you found something from this video, maybe just the fact that sexuality is not set in stone, it is very fluid. Just because at one point you think, oh, I must be gay, you can't, you know, say, maybe I'm bi. I don't mean that in a, oh, it's just a phase way. I mean that in a self-discovery way. Don't take the past bit out of context, because context is important. Very important. If you did get something out of it, whether you found it informative or you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Share it on social media with someone who you think might benefit from seeing this, or just enjoy seeing this. If you haven't already, please subscribe, that'd be amazing. As always, I've been Ruby Price, and I shall see you next time. Adios. Bye. It might be Pride Month, but you're just gonna shove LGBT down people's throats? Is that really the best thing to say? I mean, imagine if that does get taken out of context. Yeah, that'd be crazy.